Welcome back to Twin Tarot. I'm Gary, and this is not David. Hey, how you doing? It's been a minute since we've last had a chat, huh? Um, it's been really busy. My son is going to be going to San Jose State in the fall. He was down in San Luis Obispo, so Laura and I had to move him back this past weekend, and so we did two round trips to San Luis Obispo with we rented a pickup truck, and Laura was driving my hatchback, and we had to make two full loads to get all his stuff home. Um, it's 200 miles each way, so that was a long, long weekend. 800 miles of driving plus moving, right? So yeah, a little tired after the weekend. And then Monday, Dave and I got together with our sisters, and we went up to my mom's house, and we had a brief discussion on what direction we're going to go with my mom's estate, and kind of going through the house and identifying bits of memorabilia that are meaningful to each of us, to basically take home with us and have our memories of her and my dad with us in our homes. So uh, the great news is none of us are fighting over anything, which I didn't think we would be. So it's just a process. I'm tired. I'm not gonna lie. I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed early tonight. I was up late last night because Jack flew out to Texas to visit a friend, and he came back last night, and it was 9:30 at night when I was picking him up from SFO, and by the time I got to bed, it was 10:30, and usually I'm lights out about 9 o'clock. So, uh, I'm tired. But so this ought to make some interesting reading, right? I texted David to see if he wanted to do a twin reading. I have not heard back from him, but you may hear my phone go ping in the middle of the video, in which case you won't see this video. You'll just see the twin video. But if he's busy and he's got other things going and doesn't see my message, well, then you're stuck with me. So there's actually three things that have caught my interest. I just haven't had time to read on them. One, we've got the reflection pool, that whole fiasco where Trump is accusing people of vandalizing the reflection pool. Then you've got the Freedom 250 Great American State Fair, and Kash Patel's girlfriend, Alexis Wilkins, has been selected to perform. And she's pushing back against allegations that the only reason why she's being asked to perform is because she's Kash Patel's girlfriend. I worked hard and I earned this, and I'm not getting paid taxpayer money, and blah blah blah. Okay, yeah, you can say that. If that helps you sleep through the night, honey, good for you. I think there's a whole bunch of us that are looking at this going, yeah, you got that gig because of who you're dating. I'm sorry. I'm not a country music fan. Um, so I don't know how popular she is. Maybe she's wildly popular and I'm just out of touch. I'll take that criticism. I just don't think so. Out of all the country western musicians they could have, this is the one they picked. And then finally, we've got this very interesting story out there, speculation. There's this weight loss drug. It's not approved by the FDA for weight loss, but I believe it's pronounced retatrutide. And there was an application that was made for compassionate use, and it was for an individual who was 79 years old, suffered obstructive sleep apnea, and suffers from pulmonary hypertension, which is kind of a serious deal from what I was reading in the on the article. And there was a story put out by a source called STAT, I believe, speculating that that 79-year-old person might be Donald Trump. And the interesting thing is for these compassionate use type exceptions for these drugs, it's usually for a group of people, not for an individual. And the fact that there was a request made for an individual and the FDA approved it for the individual is really, really suspicious. And of course, to seal it, Trump's White House has immediately come out and said that the reporting is false and that the lady that reported it is, a hack. And Stephen Chung was all over that. Deny, 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 deny. And you, me, and not David here, we all know that as soon as Trump's White House starts denying something, you're on to something. The odds are pretty good that, yeah, whatever they're denying is actually true. So we can look at that as well. So we got three different things. We'll see how much time it takes to go through this stuff. I am going to do a insomnia pajama party on Friday night. So today is Wednesday the 24th. So on Friday night, the 26th at midnight, we're going to have a pajama party. Woo! Yay, me. Because I'm such a night owl. Not. So that'll be midnight Pacific time. Hopefully I'll see Alf Carlson out there in the comments rocking it, because Alf's always the first in the comments. So hopefully you can join me. I'll put something on the community page. But yeah, it's just kind of a fun gig. I've always enjoyed doing the live videos better than these recordings. And there's the Bing. Let's see what Dave has to say. So to me, the live recordings are just fun. It's not like it's work. Oh, Dave wants 20 minutes to finish dinner. So you know what? I will. I'm going to leave the Red a True Tide reading with David, because he's got the background. He's got the science background. So that would be kind of fun to read with him. Let's start with Alexis Wilkins, shall we? Kash Patel's girlfriend, who's been selected to perform at the Freedom 250 Great American State Fair. And I've got the article here on my phone. Let's see, I want to get her quote. Okay, so content creator Sarah Higdon took to X to ask whether having the FBI director's girlfriend is getting paid by taxpayers to perform violates federal ethics laws. Alexis Wilkins responded, "Get a few things straight, because this is long overdue. I have been a country music artist for years now. I've had a successful career in both music and commentary/strategy. People don't get to negate that for clicks or headlines. I was invited to sing this anthem on my own accord, as I have been many other places throughout my career." She clarified that she did not accept payment to perform at the event, and emphasized that the Freedom 250 celebration is a fundraising arm that does not rely on taxpayer dollars. What has that got to do with anything? Oh, because she said she was being paid by taxpayer dollars. The White House has described it as a public-private partnership. Let's see. Anything else? Neither UFC nor any National Mall celebrations are, quote, taxpayer funded. I'm no longer accepting false narratives and total sham accusations that diminish my hard work and earned accomplishments. So please expect this kind of response to continue. Yeah, she's also slated to perform at the Freedom 250 event in Brussels. Yeah. Okay. Now, I'm sorry, honey, but you're dating Kash Patel, and Trump is all about loyalty and rewarding his cronies, and you are dating one of his cronies, and that is why you're there. Full stop. Sorry, not buying this. You earned this. You said you're not getting taxpayer dollars. I kind of wonder what you are getting out of this, right? Maybe you're not getting a check, but I bet you there's some pretty big perks that you're getting out of this. So, sometimes you just got to read between the lines. on what's going on here. So let's take a look at good old Alexis Wilkins, and what do we need to know about her her statement that she earned her place in this, that it wasn't cronyism and it wasn't because of who she dated, it's because of her hard efforts as a accomplished country singer. Entertainment purposes only. Let's see what we got here. Okay, Three of Pentacles. This is about collaborations, working behind the scenes. They had a Freedom 250 lineup, and all the artists started backing out because they realized that Trump and this agency, UFC, I guess, I don't know what the hell this stands for, I'll look it up. They were making it very partisan, and they didn't want to have anything to do with it, so they started backing out. So Trump had to kind of put on his own event. And so it's like, oh, who can we get? Is Kid Rock available? So this is one of those things where it's a backroom deal. The challenge is the Empress. In this case, I think this is Alexis Wilkins. It's, hey, let's take care of our own. It's a privately funded thing, so I would be surprised if the performers aren't getting some sort of cash or other non-monetary type benefits. And the challenge is, the Empress. This is about as Dave goes to the negative, the reverse energy is kind of an entitled behavior. It's just, hey, she was selected because of who she is. Sorry. Energy underneath is Ace of Wands. Trump and company had to take action. They didn't have any performers. They had to find... Basically, you got to think about it. The folks that they're trying to hire and perform at this Freedom 250 event, it's so late in the game. These are people that weren't working. These are people that didn't have anything else going on, right? So they had time to do this. They had to take actions. In the past, you got the Tower. This is the whole concert going, the 250th anniversary or celebration going under. That all the artists are bailing out because it was a partisan hack event, and they were led to believe that it wasn't. Current energy is the Ace of Swords. So the truth is out there. They needed to find someone that could perform, and she was available. So it might not be completely because she's Kash Patel's girlfriend, but that's how they know her, right? And that's just a truth that she's going to have to deal with. Overarching energy is the Three of Wands. Hey, don't worry about it, honey. Not only are they taking the actions for this, but hey, in a little bit, you're going to be over in Brussels doing it again. Why are they doing it in Brussels? That's another question, right? Let's see. Hold on a second. I want to make sure I got that right. Yeah, Brussels on June 28th. Why are they celebrating the United States' 250th birthday in Brussels, of all places? That makes no sense to me. But don't worry, you'll be able to go overseas and earn some more money. The lesson to be learned: the fool. Don't take us for fools. We're not stupid here. We know what the truth is. We know why they're taking these actions. It's a shite show. They had to find someone to perform. You were available. It's just the cronyism of it. The lesson is the fool. I guess she's hoping that we're not paying attention, that we're just have our heads in the clouds. I don't know. It's just a foolish journey, or she's just making a fool of herself. Outcome is the Chariot. The Chariot is just the celebration is going to move forward. The event's going to go on. you know, she'll perform and Trump will say she's wonderful and whatever. It's, it's just one of those things where they had to find performers who were available, and she was available, convenient and available. Uh, I have a tough time believing that it's because of all her hard work behind the microphone as a political commentary, as strategist, as well as a country singer. Whatever. That's what I'm reading on that. Okay, so let's look at the reflection pool. It's funny because on one hand, when they built the pool, Donald Trump was saying that the pool had this rubberized coating on the bottom, and it was really strong, and you could try and cut it with a knife. Perhaps I shouldn't give people ideas. You could try cutting it with a knife, and it wouldn't affect it because it's so strong. And then they get all these algae blooms and the thing's peeling up, and now Trump's accusing people of vandalizing it. And they've made some arrests that seem like they're really dodgy at best. And I'd love to see what's happening. He has blamed vandals for putting fertilizer in the water to make the algae bloom, and then having a big knife that cut the bottom, which he previously couldn't be cut because it was so strong, cut this huge 300-foot gash in the bottom of this thing and caused it to peel up. Man, oh man, there are some big leaps of faith that he's expecting out of Trump world here. How many millions of dollars did he pay for this thing? And it was just an absolute shit show. It's funny because when he doesn't pay his contractors for his hotel work, so why would you pay this guy? This is a situation where his pool guy did a terrible job. This is a situation where you probably shouldn't be paying the contractor or having the contractor come back out and redo it the way, to spec of contract. Yet he wants to blame vandals, in a nice fact-free way. So let's look at the energy around the reflection pool. Why do we need to learn about that? The sun. The truth about it is going to come out. The challenge is the devil's going to blame everything but the truth. The truth is probably simply shoddy workmanship. A poorly thought out plan, a poorly engineered solution, poorly executed. But the challenge is Trump can't ever accept accountability or blame for anything. The buck stops anywhere but here for him. It's if things go right, it's because of his brilliant plan. If things go wrong, it's because you didn't execute my brilliant plan correctly. In this case, he has to blame someone, so of course it's vandals. Energy underneath it is the Six of Pentacles. He wanted to take so much credit for how much better this was going to look and how much cheaper it was than the $34 million, he calls it $100 million, that Obama spent on a 2-year renovation of the reflection pool. So he wanted to bask in how much value he added. But the problem was he didn't award the contract to a competent vendor. He gave it to a friend. And there may be some little kickbacks going on there, right? In the past, the Page of Cups, he's just trying to... It's partially because it's a distraction, partially to keep MAGA happy, but it's just more foolish behavior on his part. Current energy, Ten of Swords. He wants to put this behind him. He wants this to be over and done with. He probably started as a distraction from the Epstein files, and now it's starting to have its own life. It started as a convenient distraction, but now it's becoming a headache and a thorn because he can't blame anyone else other than vandalism because it was his idea, his pool boy, and his It was a no bid contract. This is completely on Trump and his administration. The only thing that they can try and do is say so and try to sabotage it. So he wants this thing to go away. He wants it to end. So he could declare victory. So yes, pick a scapegoat so you can declare victory. The lesson to be learned is more backroom deals. This is what happens when you don't have a transparent government. I work in government. I work in government contracts. Governments are set up for transparency. They're not set up for speed and efficiency. Everything that governments do for contracting is about transparency. And in this situation, it's like the least transparent thing you can do. I couldn't do this where I work. You can't just pick a vendor and tell them to go ahead and do it. You have to get bids. You have to put a solicitation out there, get a request for bids, and or a request for proposal. And these vendors come in, they assess what's going on, they give you a proposal and a bid, and you pick the vendor based on a set of criteria that are weighted on price and performance and whatever criteria you have. On no bid contract is you just point the finger at your favorite vendor and give the job, which is what happened, and now you get the results you get. And the outcome of this, King of Pentacles, is just, hey, you know what? Trump's not going to change. He's just going to basically, he's not going to accept accountability. There's a big shock to everyone, right? He's not going to accept accountability. So I know there's some glare on this. He's just going to declare his victory, cash in the money he made probably on kickbacks with this thing, the kickback card, and move on to the next thing. The reflection pool served its purpose. There might have been multiple purposes, but at the end of the day, it served its purpose, and he doesn't give a shit about it. That's what I got. All right, so Dave's messaging me. We're going to do a twin video. I hope you're all doing great. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. And I'll see you on the pajama party on Friday night, the 26th. And the card for the rest of us is the World card. Ooh, honey, cover up. I'm going to get censored. The World card. Hey, man, we're going to get to the end of this eventually. We just got to wait for the Age of Aquarius to join us. It's the Age of Ego. It doesn't want to go just yet, but it'll go eventually. I hope you all have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.